On my Camaros. Sorry if I'm squinting. It's a little bright out here today and I have sensitive eyes. But welcome back to Jack of All Trades, and here we go. As you'll see here, we got two 3rd gen Camaros jacked up. As you see, there is no strings. It is levitating. So there's the power plant for it, which has been taken out of that beast. Transmission is in. We actually already fitted the motor. Pulled out the K-member, as you'll see over here. Welded in the motor mount brackets for it. My son's gonna wire wheel this down so we can paint it. Clean up all the control arms, lower control arms, whatnots. There's the other control arm, lower control arm. We do have a radiator. It's up in that box. We just have to kind of modify the I don't want to call them frame rails, but that's what they look like, frame rails. Modify those a little bit to accept the radiator. It's a little bit of an oversized radiator, but she is wiped out, nothing there. Now on this one, the motor's in, and in this lovely box I have the T-top seals, because I've actually finished the T-top rails. So I was gonna fit those here in a second to see how it's gonna look. T-top rails are in. There's the cross over. There's the other T-top rails. I'm just gonna go down through here and grind down my welds a little bit and touch up wherever I need to touch up. But here is the brand new T-top seals. And I'll tell you what, I paid $135 for these. They got a 15-year warranty. And man, these actually feel really nice. They are super soft, like I says. The quality on them looks pretty good. I mean, little seams are glued together or whatever, but I mean, they feel really good. So I'll probably lay them in place here in a little bit, just see how everything fits. I might have to fix a couple little spots where I guess I got a little carried away, but just see how they sit in there. The motor is on this. I had to custom make myself, sorry I'm moving stuff around, I had to custom make myself a transmission mount, make sure it doesn't fall, and that's what I was doing yesterday and I got sidetracked. So this is off of another, this is actually from a C10 transmission crossmember mount. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. This head doesn't really open up straight. Alright, I gotta set y'all down. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Nope. Alright, so here we see motor is in place. This is the plastic for the front. Motor and transmission is actually in this car. Of course, this is the stock radiator, not bolted in place. I'm gonna probably go with electric cooling fans or fan. It's a small radiator. I did see another guy that actually ran the stock radiator on this and didn't have any overheating issues yet. Heads are coming off. I'm still waiting for the head gaskets. Issue is this mammoth of a freaking alternator that's jutting up so damn high is actually hitting right here. Intake hits, so none of that stuff actually goes. What I have is the IFS motor mounts that are offset. Hopefully you can see that. There you go. So it actually shoves the motor back, bolts to the clamshell style motor mounts. And here is my transmission crossmember. Now what I have to do is get back up underneath there. I got to grind out where closest to this is going to be, but you will see that, you know, I have them clocked the way they're supposed to be. And what I did was bolted these pieces up. I bolted these pieces up to the spot where they're going to go, and then I cut slits straight across on one side, slid that in, and kind of eyeballed how this was going to line up. Made my marks, ground those open. Now you'll see they're a little oversized. I'm gonna have to go back and re-weld that, but they're oversized because I didn't know how much room I was gonna need and then slid it in place, bolted up everything, and then I had my son just tack it in place. So it's tacked in where it needs to be. And then of course this piece here I cut it down to give myself a little bit more room so it'll weld into place there. Now my son, since he's got a job and doesn't pay a whole lot of bills, bought himself one. And the only thing we had to do was cut off one little piece on his. Other than that, everything mounted up perfect, which was this piece right here, because it wasn't gonna work like that with the stock mount, rubber mount. So there it goes. So we cut this off, and it actually could be just about another 1/4 inch higher, in my opinion, the way everything was sitting. But we haven't fully lined up the drive shaft and everything yet. And that, believe it or not, is the stock drive shaft that came out of this car. And it was sitting on a T5, Trimic T5 transmission. And that's a 4L60E transmission. And it actually slid right in there perfect. And the spacing is correct. So, any guys out there that are looking to swap a 3rd Gen Camaro, there you go. You can actually probably more than likely use the stock drive shaft. Now we're gonna go back through and actually replace the universal joints, but we're in the process. And then here's mine. Now my drive shaft came out of early 2000s Tahoe, and it was the type of transmission that tapered down. So it went from the U-joints, and then it went up to a thicker drive shaft and then back down. So I got lucky with that and had this drive shaft made. And this is one solid, you know, piece drive shaft. Now it's sitting funky right now because my Crossmember's not in, but I had got everything lined up, and there's people that did my drive shaft for me. They were up in Houston, close to downtown. I asked my son why he didn't put a jack on my transmission. He said, oh, it sits fine. So I was like, whatever, it's just sitting there for now. Now this did have a dampener on it, and I asked him to remove the outer ring because I didn't want it to cause any clearance issues. And it doesn't look like it would have, but at the same time, I don't think that dampener was going to really do anything specific or special. So I went ahead and had him remove it. So there she is, folks. And it looks like the shifter linkage should work. I'm going to have to drill this out a little bit to make it a little bit bigger to fit the pin on this one. So, because it fits here, but it won't go past that little collar. So what I'm going to do is drill this a little bit bigger, and then I'll probably have to modify this bracket to get it to sit in right. But other than that, I think we're looking pretty good. Of course, I got to get this speedometer cable out here because that's not going to be any good. I do like this transmission. Actually has a drain plug. It's kind of nice. Today I'm going to weld up the Crossmember, and then I'm thinking that I'm going to go ahead and attack the wiring harness. I'm going to probably lay it in place, kind of get an idea how I want to route everything. I know I definitely want to put the ECU in the car. I'll have to figure out a spot where I want to put that. But since the last time, y'all probably remember the inside was all apart. I do have the dash back in. I actually have the steering wheel hooked up, so I can actually steer this car around now. I robbed the gearbox out of the red Camaro in the back, so I actually have a full steering linkage at this point. And a cool little note, or not cool note, but for anybody that might be wondering out there, the red Camaro has been officially gutted, and hopefully be taking that thing to the junk scrap yard here soon. Those are the old seats out of my son's Camaro. They're junk, but there's literally nothing left of this Camaro. I do want to take this back hatch in case something happens to one of ours. I do need to finish taking off these ground skirts. Door panels, I don't know. I was gonna take them, but I don't know. But as you see, everything else is gone. I took all the plastic trim and everything is out the back. There's no plastic trim in here more. So that's gone, and I may go ahead and keep the rear diff, the rear end. I don't know. I gotta see what else is in here. I gotta take this as well because I don't think my car has the sway bar in the back either. There's a few more parts I need to take yet, but not too many. I might go ahead and rob these steering linkages, the inner and outer tie rods. I don't know. We're gonna see. I know I got a few more parts I probably want to take yet, but for the most part that's done. And you'll notice that something else is missing out of this backyard is that Packard. The Packard's gone. The MR2 has been stripped a lot to get painted. Hopefully here in the next few weeks this is going to get painted, and I'll be doing some videos on that. So it's pretty well stripped right now. Just a matter of getting the sanding done. Get the sanding done on that. So the work continues. Alrighty guys, so here we are. Here's that plate I was showing you earlier. Getting ready to tack weld it in place. I've got the transmission sitting roughly about where I need it to sit. Well, I shouldn't say roughly, it's sitting where I want it to sit. The drive shaft is pretty much straight to the rear end. I've got a jack on the rear end to torque that rear end so it's sitting how it should be. I also got to come up with something for this torque arm, attaching it to this here, so I'm going to have to come up with some kind of bracket device. So I gotta get this bolted into place real quick. There it is. Got some welds. Hope you can see that. Nice and pretty. There she goes. Okay, that needs to come back here. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this hole here where the bolt would go and giving myself enough room that it'll, once I get something in there, it'll actually fit in there. I'll run one tack in the middle. Hopefully it doesn't jack with me too much while I'm doing my final pass through. Cody! Alright, not too bad, not too bad. A little splattered. I was welding a little awkwardly. Alright, now it's time to wire wheel her up and paint her. Leaving this open just so water doesn't get trapped in there and rust it out. motherfucker almost looks like it was goddamn store-bought. I think because these pieces are CNC'd, that's actually what makes it look good, and then the pipe's just cut nice and straight. The welds look half decent, so I don't know what that is. That might be some alcohol that was left there or something. I forgot to. But shit, if I didn't say so myself, I would think someone bought that shit off eBay. It's at least Chinese good. At least Chinese good.